Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and this is a flip through of my Forest Adventure Journal. This journal measures 8.5 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide. It has a 2-inch spine. I'll give you a peek of the back here, my cool dragon. There are 4 signatures in this journal. Each signature has about 8 pages, 6 of them from the principal kit, and the other couple are mulberry paper and coffee dyed paper. This journal was crafted using a kit available in my Etsy shop. There is a full kit with a cover inside and out with a tutorial, the whole 9 yards. And then there is a mini kit with a selection of the papers and the ephemera. I'm going to give you one more look at the front here. Got some dimensional labels on the front and then this cool strap feature that kind of wraps around the cover. The base of this is craft paper. It was a paper bag and I used a little distress ink on it just to kind of pop out some of those ridges and things. These are layered up frames and the kit does have a couple of photo options in here. I chose to use the sword. On the spine, I hid my stitching whenever I sewed in my signatures with this panel here so that it makes it kind of a hidden spine situation. And then the back panel, these are layered up frames again, and you can see more of that distressed ink kind of popping through on my paper for the back. A little side view, a little bit of goodies popping out there. There we go. And let's peek at the inside. So the inside cover is interactive, and I have a Velcro closure on this, and it flips up and down to open up. I'm going to kind of sketch down this way and pull this piece out first. There is a story in this journal. It's about a quest for a magic sword in a magic forest. And there are some journal cards throughout the journal that tell the story through the whole quest through the forest. There are 12 of those cards and they span through the entire journal. I'm going to slide this up now so I have room to flip my bottom panel down. So I've got a couple of pockets here, again with the Velcro closures, and I've got our adventuring supplies in here. I looked at it as if our main character was making a list and filling her bag. So in my head, that's how it kind of came out, so that's how I designed it. And then this bottom panel has a belly band with a map tucked inside. I did a little bit of burlap and some ephemera on the front here to decorate my little backpack kind of closure here. And now we're at the first signature. On this page, I cut some dashes with my X-Acto knife and thread a little bit of ribbon through. It's a yellow ribbon with an iridescent edge. Just kind of run that right through there, a little bit of stamping. Have a tuck here from a cluster. And then I'm starting the journal off with one of those journal cards. These tell the story of the quest through the forest. There are 12 of these throughout the journal. They're kind of an optional item I included with the kit. I'm gonna start having a lot more fun with these. I wanted to add storytelling elements that you can use if you want to. It's a pocket tag. A couple of tags in here, and this is like an embroidery floss that's gold, and I used a bunch of that throughout. I just like the look of it. I wanted to keep the trims fairly simple in this journal, and I used mostly burlap, jute kind of ribbon trims, and then this gold kind of embroidery floss. I kept it very simple. I didn't feel like this was a lacy kind of journal. This is mulberry paper. It has the plants kind of embedded into it. I thought that would be fun to kind of write on. So the imagery in this journal is definitely a lot of forest, but tons of fantasy. I've got dragons and unicorns, warrior women, old ruined towers, elves. There's a couple of pockets here with the day 2 journaling card. This was netting. I have some of this mesh netting in green, so I layered that with some more mulberry paper to create a flip, and I attached a fussy cut to it. I put a little scrap of paper on the back to kind of sandwich it on there, and then some of that nice jute trim. If I remember, I'll put a link to this. I got this off of Amazon. It is a really nice trim set, and it came with about, I don't know, eight different ones. I'll try to link that down below if you're interested in those. They were a good value. Unicorn. The tower, I imagine that was some kind of elven city. Another cluster tuck here. Lots of journaling space. Oh, missed a page. There we go. I could use this as a creative writing journal. The story is very light, so there's a lot of room to kind of make it your own if you're a writer. It's also a good jumping off point if you like to art journal. It gives you some ideas of different images to add in or ways to expand on the quest. This is the second signature. There's a little pocket on the front here. This fun little fussy cut in it. I just love all of the forest and adventure imagery in this one. Here I sandwiched a couple of journaling cards on either side just to kind of firm up that mulberry paper. This one was a little rougher and I like the color of it as a backdrop, so I just kind of sandwiched it in there. And so now I have a nice page. Little burlap trim here. Did do a little stamping throughout the journal. It's a piece of my coffee dyed paper. Some more tags. And I used a fussy cut and a scrap of coffee dyed paper at the top here. A little more stamping. I had some of this, it's not really a vintage ribbon. I picked it up at the thrift store. It was more of a vintage inspired ribbon, but it's really pretty. It has a lot of shine to it. So I used a couple pieces of that just to bring in some glamour. Another little pocket from this text piece. There's another style of that kind of jute border ribbon. The other half of that mulberry paper. I'll try to link this as well. It was a big variety pack and it had a lot of beautiful papers in it. Another pocket tag. This one I attached directly to the page and also seem to have attached my tags a little bit. There we go. Little tuck pocket. Got another card and this envelope. I put a Velcro closure on that. I'm a big fan of the Velcro closures right now. I might be overusing them, I'm not sure, but there's something satisfying about opening and closing them. This was a kind of tuck belly band piece from the kit. And then I reused, this was one of the optional images for the front cover, and I turned that into a fold out here and then a tuck on this page just by folding it over the edge of the page. Another journal entry for our story. Now I'm into the third signature, quick little cluster there. Another journal entry and some stamping. I have these tarot card stamps. I thought this was a good use for them. Just a couple here and there as the story goes on. There's another one here. This is a tuck down in there. Use some coffee dyed paper to make a flip up under this journal card. So there's lots of room to write here. And this has like a stencil pattern on it. I spray the coffee and then use the stencils to get patterns on my paper. Another pocket tag. Kind of a city in the trees, and another warrior woman. And then the dragons start to come in. I think there were some, might have been some earlier, but there is a dragon in the story. A couple more little cards. A cluster at the top. This is some more netting over this page. I like how it kind of obscures the branches. This one I did not put the little patch on the back. I just glued it on willy-nilly. I was feeling a little more bold at that point. The other half, I just cut this with pinking shears. It was a wide ribbon with wire in the edges. I pulled the wire out and I cut down the middle with pinking shears to get that rippled edge. Another tarot card stamp. There's also a ruined tower. So I thought it was appropriate. Dragon egg. More journal entry. And the fourth signature. I just love the colors in this kit, the greens and the browns and the creams, and I think it's really soothing and full of nature. It just brought me a lot of joy to work with these colors. Here's another piece of mulberry paper. This one has some fibers through it, and I repeated that method of sandwiching the journal cards on either side to give it some stability, especially since I don't think I would write on this. I feel like it's a little too thin. Little velvet with a fussy cut layered over it. Here's a belly band with dragon cluster on it. A couple of cards. I just layered them so they would take up a little more height, and they're staying in there really well. I like the look of that. Another flip with the coffee dyed paper. I just left the strings kind of hang. Again, I didn't want a bunch of charms and things on this one. I wanted it to feel a little more rustic, and I like the strings hanging out of the bottom, but instead of doing something to the ends of them, I just left them be. Another fairy. This one flips over, and I collaged a couple of little scrap of paper and a fussy cut on the back. This is washi tape, nice wide washi tape. I think this is the last. There are 4 of these pocket tags in the large kit. Put all my tags in a little too soon. The glue wasn't quite dry, so I have to yank them out of there. Lots of dragon imagery here towards the end of the journal. There's not a specific order for these pages to go in. You can kind of look over the story if you're interested in it and kind of make things make sense, but I didn't want to stress over that aspect. I thought that that would take some of the fun out of the junk journaling experience. So another cluster here, and this is the last journal entry for the dragon. And this flips up, and it's the last dragon panel. So I did think about the story a little bit when I was arranging my pages, but I didn't let it dictate every single page. This back panel opens just like the front, and at the top we've got another map, this one of the forest. And then this bottom panel flips down. There's another frame here, the pull out depicting the journey. And then this middle, there is a potion card in here. I can get a hold of it just in case. And this is a little sketchbook, and this does go in order of the story. I have directions on how to assemble this. I didn't do anything fancy with it. I just folded it. I didn't do a binding, but you could definitely play with this. And there are images that basically go in the order of the story. There might be a little bit of discrepancy, but there you go. And that just tucks right down in there. And back to the back cover, the dragon on it. I hope you've enjoyed this flip through of my Forest Adventure junk journal. This is a new series of journal kits that I will be doing in my Etsy shop. This one is available for sale now, as well as a mini kit with just a selection of the pages and ephemera if you just like the look of the kit but don't want the whole thing, the whole project. If you'd like to be notified of future kits like this, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.